Is James Williams Jr. This is Cove Avenue number 2. The time is just after 4 o'clock. It's 4:10. So first, I think my report went very well at school. Second, it looked like it's gonna rain, so that sucks. And I want to make this video to a friend of mine who he and I just had a slightly sad talk. Right, I'm not mentioning no names, and since I've been there, I'm gonna give him what I would hope is good advice. I can't say I've ever truly given someone good advice because as much as I give good advice, I take my own advice for the most part, and sometimes it doesn't work out. All right, I've learned that the hard way, but sometimes what works for you doesn't work for everyone else also, and sometimes what works for them doesn't work for you, and you have to deal with that as best you can. So he's going through some shit, and all my friends generally go through some shit, and the best I can tell them is what I'm gonna tell you. In the midst of going through shit, you need to step back. You need to step back, take a deep breath, and access the situation. And since I'm always honest with everybody, to the best that I can be, to the best of their acceptance. I suffer from mad bouts of depression, like mad bouts of depression. I'm not ashamed to say it. I wouldn't say that I need more mental help or whatever. I'm not gonna go and get a gun and do anything stupid. I'm not that bad off. I was, but I'm not that bad off. And I will say straight up and down here to my 37 followers or whatever, it doesn't go away, but it is dealable. Alright? My father's birthday is next Monday. I will be making a video about him, maybe 2 or 3 of them when the weekend comes, because now that I have my one exam out the way and my presentation, I can relax and start worrying about my exam on May 3rd. So, I'm gonna keep the shit real. And we're talking about sad stuff, and my father's been dead for 3 years. And so this person is about to go through some stuff. And I want to talk to y'all in all honesty about death. This whole video is about death and acceptance, and knowing that it's coming is a lot better than not knowing that it's coming. But the fact of the matter is that everything that lives on earth, eats, breathes, sleeps, and shits is going to die. Alright? We're all going to die. So, if we're lucky, we live to have nice, ripe ages of life, and we get to enjoy, and we get to explore, and we get to learn, and if we're really blessed along the way, we make great friends that eventually become family, and we have someone to basically hold our hand as we walk through this journey of life. We can't hold everybody's hand. Alright, and some paths we are destined to walk alone. And in my case, and I'm only going to speak from my experience, and if you guys enjoy this, you can chime in at any time and write your comments. I read them because I don't have any comments. No one's really wrote my comments. Losing my dad, I will say honestly, did not help my depression. While he was alive, I had someone to talk to. I had someone to speak with. I had someone who understood me and who could feed into how I felt. I could tell him anything and I'd be ashamed of it, and I could feel, great about it. Not having my dad has been one of those things in life that I've been forced to accept. I don't like it, but I have been forced to accept it because of the simple fact that he's not coming back. Now he might come back in another life, but he won't be my dad anymore because he probably gets a clean slate and starts off all over. But if I had an option of being in his life again as my father in the next life, I would gladly have it. However, this being the hypocrite side of me saying if I could choose our race and everything else on the way out, like our race, our gender, etc., then I would want to be able to choose that before I get a clean slate. And I know it's not going to happen because I do believe in reincarnation and everything, but I'm also getting cremated so that I don't come back as me because I've had a horrible ass life and having depression in them does not help. So, you know, before this is probably going to be a two-part video because in like 10 minutes I got to go get my niece off the bus. The whole thing is that, we as people, we lose people. And to quote the dude from The Walking Dead, the black guy, sometimes when we lose people, especially very important people that are really close to us, we tend to lose ourselves and we don't really have a lot of focus on how to get back. So, being that I've had two fathers, I've been blessed with two fathers, and I've been blessed with two mothers, and one mother is still alive. Both my fathers have passed, and both of them I have dedicated my graphic novel to. And I had an ex-fiance who will always be the love of my life, even if I'm not hers. And though I was moving on by course with her until everything went wrong, and then I had to move on by force without her, loss affects people differently. And you never know how loss is going to basically kick you right in the actual ass. Losing my dad was the worst. Both of them. But losing my bio dad was far worse than losing my surrogate father. My surrogate father did a lot for me. He's probably one of the main reasons why I'm here. And my bio dad has done just as much, if not more. But, when you don't tell people how you feel, it's hard for them to help you. And I shared more with my surrogate dad on how I felt than with my bio dad because I didn't want to seem like a pussy or a punk. I didn't want him to think I was weird. And, it's okay for men to cry. I had to learn that. I had to learn that. And a lot of us straight men are afraid or ashamed to cry. And I had to learn that. When I was a kid, I was raised that macho men don't cry. I since learned that that's bullshit. And if you are a boy and you cry and you're straight or if you're gay, hey, cry, man. Cry. Because sometimes that shit helps. And I say this for the simple fact that I really didn't cry that much until after I became grown. I really didn't. Because it was bred into me that if I cried, I would be a punk, or I would be a punk bitch, or I would be a pussy. So I really didn't cry that much. And people will tell you that if you don't cry that much, it kind of makes you go insane, which is true. Sometimes that macho complex can do more harm than good for you. And I cried when I was sad, but the problem is that I've always been sad or always been angry. I've never really had a peaceful, great moment in life where things were just like perfect. I've had minor perfection points in life. Doing martial arts, that was a perfect thing. It saved my life from becoming a gangster. It saved my life from going to the streets, but I still needed more. My love for martial arts has gotten me through life. And I can't say it loves me back, but it has been the only woman that's never betrayed me. You know, when you lose people, I'm trying not to cry, I'm sorry. When you lose people, there is no God-given way of dealing with it without accepting it first. And that's the hard part, because I'll be honest with you, I've had to learn over the last 2 years that my dad ain't coming back. I've had to learn how to accept over the last 2 years that my dad is not coming back. And with his birthday coming up, which I just found out today, he'll be 67, because I suck at math and I was never really good at parent ages, but I'm 44 and he was 23 years older than me according to him, so that would make him 67 if the math on the calculator is correct. The math in my head is not, because I suck at math, but for the bulk of my life, my only fun times with him was in the summertime, because he lived in a different city. So I didn't get to be with him as much as I wanted. And in the summertime, when he wasn't at work, he spent as much time with me as he could, you know. And the thing about being a man, you gotta learn how to man up. Dads can teach you everything, but it's up to you to actually do it. My dad raised me right. You get a girl pregnant, you do the right thing. You ain't got to marry her, but you damn sure better do the right thing for your children. She didn't make the baby by himself. And a lot of young men these days don't know how to be men. They don't know how to man up. Like, oh well, I helped her get pregnant. I need to do my part. And a lot of young men that my siblings have brought home are on that same kick. Oh well, I didn't do it. Yeah, you did, but you don't want to man up. But when you lose people through death, whether it's accident, whether it's just old age, it affects everyone differently. And the problem with losing people is that you have to accept that they're not coming back. Which is also why you have to tell everyone, did you love them every chance you get, because you don't know. No one is promised tomorrow. So you don't know if you're going to see them again. You can expect it, you can pray, you can hope that you will see them tomorrow, but tomorrow is not granted. So, I mean, you gotta look at it from a realistic point of view. Now, I suffer from depression. I want to end this first video on that. I suffer from depression. I have two graphic novels. I'm looking for a publisher. The other one isn't finished, but I'm working on it. But the thing is, I know my boundaries, and a lot of people don't know their boundaries because you don't know what you're made of until you go through some shit. I suffer from depression. I suffer from PTSD. I got help for the PTSD. There really is no cure for depression other than to never get depressed, and for some of us, that's a blessing, and for the rest of us that suffer from depression, it's like almost an impossibility to not get depressed because certain things put you back into that depressive state. Now, I'm not a doctor, but at 44 years old, I have learned some things by paying attention, and I would advise anyone who has depression or is suffering or anything to first go get professional help. And if you can't get professional help because of your inability to pay, at least talk to some damn body. Tell them how you feel, or do what I do: write a fucking graphic novel. And I want to end it on that because I want the second part to not be more emotionally charged. And I'm probably gonna post this on Facebook, but I want everybody to understand. The best way to know somebody is to have a conversation with them. The best way to really learn about someone is to probably ask them things that you are afraid to ask them questions that is really touchy to talk about. And with me and my depression, I'm not so much as ashamed of it as of much that I shouldn't have gotten this far down in the first place. I had things to cope with, and I just didn't, you know. And then when it got really bad, I really went and got some fucking help, and I'm still here. Do I still have evil and harmful thoughts? Yes, I do. Every motherfucking day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. But I do have coping methods. I do have friends. I have a laptop. I type. I do whatever it takes to keep me from feeling like shit or like I want to die. Now, I'm not going to say that's a permanent solution because I can feel like shit tomorrow. Am I going to kill myself? Not without seeing that Avengers Infinity War. You find ways of coping. You find things that make you want to live. And that's what you got to do sometimes. I was real bad when I wrote Love 13. I was in really, really, really bad shape. Now, hopefully, Love 13 will make me some money if I can find a publisher. So, that's that. I will see you in the second video. Be seeing you.